Daicium includes 4 different games supporting 1 to 4 players depending on which one you play. You'll be rolling lots of dice in Crazy Cup, Civilization, Dungeon, and Shogun. Geek Attitude Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. In Crazy Cup, you're racing across the desert, hoping to upgrade your car and find shortcuts to get to the end before the others. In Civilization, you want the most victory points. Build cities, temples, wonders, and fight monsters in each other for victory points and to achieve group and secret objectives. Dungeon is a co-op game where you're trying to find treasures and defeat monsters before the Goblin King reaches his throne. Shogun is an asymmetric versus game. The ninjas are trying to kidnap the shogun, and the samurai are trying to protect him. Each game has a few unique rules, but the majority of Daicium works on a rule system. Let me explain by showing you the player boards. All players will start with 3 dice and will work on the 2-2-2 rule. 2 rolls, 2 actions, and store 2 unused dice. They're trying to get color and/or number combinations that match the special abilities or bonuses on their player board. The special Daicium side can be used for its green color or act as any number 1 to 5. In Crazy Cup, 2 pairs will allow you to move 3 spaces, then bump an enemy in your space. They'll need to pass a driving test, meaning roll the red combat die, fail and move backward 3 spots. In Civilization, green sides let you build cities and temples. As you grow in power, it takes more work to build. In Dungeon, 4 yellow sides let you immediately remove a goblin or move the portal to a spot within 3 spaces from your character. In Shogun, rolling 3 or 5 of a kind lets you move 3 or 5 spaces, including through doors. Once you know the general Daicium system, you can pretty much play any of the 4 games. Roll dice and decide what to keep and what to re-roll based on the game's player board and rules. That's Daicium. Including setup and takedown, all 4 games average to about an hour. Shogun can be played in 15 to 30 minutes. Civilization, depending on dice rules, might be best saved for weekends. You might be able to play Shogun on a coffee table. With the player boards, cards, and space needed to roll all those dice, I think Daicium will be better on dining tables, especially with 3 or more players. The amount of reading and math needed depends on the game. By 8, most kids should be okay to play. Maybe not Civilization. Once in Shogun, I had awesome luck, and Mom did not. Her samurais couldn't do anything against my ninjas, especially since I unlocked all of my dice early on. One ninja placed a torii near the Shogun, where I already had another ninja. I grabbed the Shogun and ran to safety before Mama triggered a single alert. Poor Mom. 4 games in 1? Cool! Gaming follows the leader at times. With 8-bit box in this, is the board game console the next trend? I like luck in games, but there's a point where there can be too much. In short games where you're all laughing, that's one thing. In a 30 to 60 minute game where you lose because of the dice or a card draw, the rules need some cleaning up. The movement rules in Civilization, for example. It seems like a few parts were translated in weird ways. For more likes and dislikes, I break down each game in the final section. So what do I think? Let me go game by game. Crazy Cup is a light, fun racing game for those who don't have time for, or aren't quite ready for, something like Steampunk Rally. It does have some puzzle parts and decisions that make this much more than rolling and moving. It's my favorite of the 4. Civilization has a handful of ways to score points, secret and public goals, and put some control in your hands while having enough luck to keep things from always going your way. It's not as fun as Crazy Cup, but I do like it. I wish the rules were clearer and the building rules were on the boards. I'd also like more to do. Attacking other people's cities, or maybe monsters that are moving. Perhaps even team up with your enemy if it means beating someone else. I don't know, something. Dungeon has a lot of randomness. Are you a fighter? You'd better roll red to trigger your bonus, or you're pretty much useless. It's also too long for what it is. Like Outspeed and 8-Bit Box, skip this. Shogun seemed like it was going to be strategic, but there aren't really any decisions. It's the quickest game in Diceium, but I'd rather play Raptor, Not Alone, or any other 15 to 20 minute game. I can't talk about Diceium without comparing it to 8-Bit Box. Both offer a handful of games with common and unique components. 4 here, 3 in 8-Bit Box. The components are much better in Diceium. The types of games in each is a tie, but 8-Bit Box's games are more enjoyable. One thing that really appealed to us was that Diceium's main rules, boards, and dice were the same in all 4 games, making learning easy. Well, it also hurts Diceium because it makes the player sides too similar. What you're doing is different, but what you're doing is the same. 8-Bit Box has problems, but I think it has a great future. The designers of Diceium need to put decisions back in the hands of the players and let us mitigate some luck for it to have a great future as well. It doesn't need a lot of work, but it does need some tweaking to be a game that I'd recommend.